Welcome to the Grace Harbor Transition Council's Life After High School Transition presentation. This presentation contains valuable insights on life after high school for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities, featuring local agencies that cover a range of crucial topics, including independent living, social security, internships and employment, continuing education, housing, transportation, the Developmental Disabilities Administration, and more. So stay tuned as we begin the presentation. Hi, I'm Christy Childs, the Information Services Director for the ARC of Grace Harbor. On behalf of the Grace Harbor Transition Council, I want to welcome you to today's transition presentation recording. Thank you for watching. I would like to extend a special thank you to the members of our Transition Council for their dedication and hard work. In this presentation, we'll focus on the exciting opportunities that lie ahead and providing you with information and community resources to help you get the most out of adult life.
And I'm Jeff Meeks. I'm the director for the ARC of Grace Harbor. The Grace Harbor Transition Council is a group of community organizations, including the ARC of Grace Harbor, employment providers, agencies such as the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation and the Developmental Disabilities Administration, as well as Grace Harbor County Public Health. And we meet monthly to discuss issues that relate to students who are 14 to 21, who are going through transition in high school. And we provide a yearly transition fair. And Christy's going to talk about that more later in this video. And also all of the links to the various things that we talk about in this video are down in the show notes.
Thanks, Jeff. So as Jeff mentioned, every year we hold a transition fair. For 2023, this transition fair is going to be virtual, which means it's going to be held on the ARC of Grace Harbor's website. It'll be available to you year-round, 24 hours a day, and it will be packed with information pertaining to students who are getting ready to graduate high school. So learning about continuing education at Grace Harbor College, learning about employment, such as supported employment, DVR services, local resources that are available to you, all kinds of different things that are going to help you on your journey into adult life. So we invite you to either scan the QR code or go to the link. It'll be down in the description box as well. And that will be launching on April 26, 2023. The Council also has a dedicated team of community liaisons, which are comprised of local area agency professionals with expertise in developmental disabilities, who can offer invaluable guidance to students and their families, especially those students who are in transition to adult services. Community liaisons can attend IEP and 504 plan meetings, when available, upon invitation by the student, a family member, the ARC, or a local school district. During the meetings, community liaisons are able to provide information about local services available that are appropriate for the student's age. They do not provide educational, parenting, or legal advice to the school or the parents. Community liaison services can be provided either virtually or in person. If you're interested in finding out more about community liaison services, contact the ARC at 360-537-7000.
So there's a few pieces of general advice we'd like to give. And one of them is that having a Washington State ID is very important. Even if you don't have a driver's license, having that ID is super important. And it's important to get it done before you turn 18 because it becomes much more challenging to prove all of the things that the Department of Licensing wants proof of once you turn 18. But prior to 18, the parent and the student can go to the Department of Licensing and get an ID relatively inexpensively, in particular if they're a DDA client. Also, something else that's worth noting is that when the student turns 18, all the educational decisions are belong to that student, unless there's some sort of guardianship or a release form in place at the school. Also at age 18, it'll be necessary to apply or reapply for supplemental security income or developmental disabilities administration services as an adult. Prior to age 18, supplemental security income and DDA there are both implications about your household income, that your parents' income does factor into some of the eligibility discussions. But after age 18, they don't. So for a lot of families, it's important to apply for SSI after the student turns 18. One last thing I'd like to note here is that it's important to stay in school, particularly for students who are already DDA clients, to stay in school until age 21 so that they can continue receiving transition services. The student can walk with their graduating class at graduation, and the education experience can be significantly different from what it was. It may not necessarily look like just sitting in a classroom all the time. It can be personalized for your particular needs.
Okay, up next, we want to talk about the Transition Toolkit. This is put together by the Informing Families website. It's a packet full of information about different things related to transitions and planning for your transition from high school to adult life. So it has tips and tricks. It has a checklist for different things that you're going to want to do. It has a star form, which helps you decide what things are important to you and create a plan for your life. And it has some information about different resources and services that are going to be available to you. So if you want to download your copy, you can find the link below.
So as Christy mentioned, one of the key pieces for families in transition is that previous a toolkit that's available from Informing Families Building Trust. So that folder is a collection of information on programs, resources, and services. And on our website, and again, in the description below, there's a link to that packet as it pertains to local providers here in Grace Harbor County. There's flyers from the ARC of Grace Harbor, from DDA, from Social Security, from Grace Harbor Youth Works, from Coastal Community Action Program, Morningside, DVR, and more. Again, in show notes.
Okay, so we've already introduced ourselves, but here's the contact information for Jeff Meeks, Executive Director at the ARC of Grace Harbor, and myself, Christy Childs, Information Services Director. You can reach us by phone or email. We also have a robust website full of great information. Please check it out. The link again will be in the description below.
When in doubt, start with the ARC. We've been a contractor with Grace Harbor County Public Health for many years, providing information and education. We're the go-to start point to get information for whatever services related to developmental disabilities that you may have. So we can provide help in English and Spanish. We can provide help with applying for services, whether it's with Developmental Disabilities Administration, with the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, or with Social Security. So start with the ARC. So one of the things that's important as you become an adult with developmental disability is all the skills of independent living. So the ARC of Grace Harbor has we call it a life skills kitchen here at the office, in which we can learn how to do laundry and do chores and cook our meals and all of these things that are related to adulting. But we do this in a fun way. So we have a couple of groups, one of which is called our Foodsters Club, where we get together periodically and prepare a meal and get together with other individuals that want to learn some of the same things, and we have a lot of fun. So yeah, so the ARC has a lot of programs related to independent living that we'd love to help you with.
So the ARC also offers some information for parents. We have a year-long workshop series called our Full Life Ahead series. We have all kinds of different informational and educational workshops. We talk about things like guardianship, power of attorney, maximizing financial resources, benefits planning, IEP and 504 plan, all kinds of different things. It's a great yearly series. Again, that is on our website, and you can also watch all of those workshops on our website. They have been pre-recorded and you can feel free to dive in. We can give information about special needs trusts, caregiver supports, and many other subjects.
So one of the things that's going to be important for families as you become adults is knowing more about Social Security. Even if you receive Social Security now, you may need to reapply again after you turn 18. The ARC of Grace Harbor can help with applications to apply for Social Security. And for that help, you give us a call at 360-537-7000. One of the things that's also a strong misconception is that you can work and still receive Social Security. In fact, the thresholds for keeping your Social Security while you're working are quite high. So there's no reason that a person who's getting Social Security couldn't also have a job and get the benefits from that employment.
So now we would like to introduce you to some of the various programs that the ARC of Grace Harbor has to offer. Our community engagement program is open to clients of the Developmental Disabilities Administration, and it aims to help people connect with their community in creative ways. This program provides services that make it easier for people to access community resources and build relationships with others in the community. Next, we have the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Pre-ETS program. This program is designed to help high school students who have a disability explore career opportunities and acquire the skills needed to achieve their employment goals. Up next, our Information Education program is another essential component of our services. We provide information and resources to people with disabilities, their families, and the broader community. Our goal with this program is to increase awareness of disability-related issues and provide support to those who need it. We also offer healthy relationships classes, which are designed to help individuals with disabilities develop healthy relationships and maintain positive social interactions. These classes cover a range of topics, including communication skills, boundary setting, and conflict resolution. Finally, our multicultural parent-to-parent program offers services in English and Spanish, including support groups, peer mentoring, and one-on-one support. Families in Grace Harbor and Pacific counties with a loved one with a disability can connect with our dedicated team of parent-to-parent coordinators to receive valuable information, resources, and emotional support. This program promotes inclusivity and understanding while bridging gaps in access to services and supports for underserved communities. So let's talk about housing. Housing options for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities can vary depending on their needs and preferences. Some individuals with IDD may live with family members or caregivers, while others may live in group homes or supported living arrangements. Group homes are shared living spaces where a small number of individuals with IDD live together and receive support from staff members. Supported living arrangements, on the other hand, provide individuals with IDD with their own apartments or homes, but with assistance from staff members as needed. In recent years, there's been a growing trend toward more inclusive housing options for individuals with IDD, such as co-housing and intentional communities, where people with and without IDD live together and support each other in a shared living space. Ultimately, the goal of housing options for people with IDD is to provide them with a safe and supportive environment where they can thrive and reach their full potential. To find help with housing assistance in Grace Harbor County, start with the Coastal Community Action Program. They're the coordinated entry point for Grace Harbor County, and they can direct you to other housing options, such as the Housing Authority, which provides low-income housing assistance, such as Section 8. And NeighborWorks, a low-income home purchasing assistance organization who also provides generalized low-income housing assistance. If getting your license is not an option, there are different ways to get around. One way is to use public transportation. Grace Harbor Transit provides generalized bus service, dial-a-ride, and specialized van service. There's another option called paratransit. This is a special service that can take you to and from medical appointments. Medicaid can also help pay for transportation if you have a parent or caregiver who wants to drive you. Sometimes family members and caregivers also help with just general transportation. There's also a program called Driven to Opportunity, which is from the Coastal Community Action Program, and their staff can help get you to and from work. It's important to find a way to get where you need to go so you can stay healthy and do the things that you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Stegner. I am the accessibility coordinator at Grays Harbor College. I also run the accessibility club. I also do entry registration, and I also support students if they need just general advising, and I do the mindfulness workshops on campus. And gosh, I do so many supports just in general. But basically, I'm the person that you come to see if you need any type of supports. If you've ever had a 504 IEP or doctor's note for a disability or mental health support that you've had in school or not. If you don't have anything like that, like documentation, I also have a new document that's available to support you, where you can get supports on campus, because after 5 years, there's not necessarily a support like where you can't get your 504 IEP still. You can still come see me. I am in the business to be able to support you and want to make sure that you have all of the support that you need to be able to come to Grays Harbor College. And so basically what that means is that if you need anything from short-term to long-term supports, we want to make sure that you have those in place, and they can be anything from mobility, seeing, hearing, sign language, transcription, testing, classroom, library support. We even have med reserve parking. We have various supports with all of those. We even have different note-taking supports. We just want to make sure that while you have your time here at Grays Harbor College, that you have whatever you possibly need when you come to the college. We also expand all the time, and we're always looking for new ways to improve. So we love to hear of anything that is available. And Clara is not here with us today, but please reach out to TRIO for any other support that you may need when it comes to financial aid. I do actually help with that too, if you need like support with that. And if you also need any support with figuring out what classes to take, we definitely like to support students. I'm in the student support center. So we like to reach out to students and make sure that we're meeting them where they're at and that they're successful, and meeting them all the way through from transitions courses, which are for students who maybe didn't test really high. And we like to support those students to make sure that they're getting whatever services that they need from wherever that is, and then also going all the way through to a bachelor's degree. We do have 3 bachelor's degree programs on campus. And we have several different degrees that we also offer that are in our Associates of Science or Associates of Arts degrees. And so we also have a Running Start program, which can mean that if you're in high school, you can get college credits while you're in high school. And you do talk to my associate, Lori Christmas, about that. There are different programs available at different colleges. And one thing that's really great is that we are all connected as community colleges now through the CTC link. So if you are interested in applying to one college, it doesn't mean that you're only applying to one college. You can actually apply to any college that is a community technical college in the state of Washington. And so another thing that specifically Clara does help with a lot, because she is part of TRIO, is the FAFSA, and that is the free application for federal student aid. If anybody has ever tried to fill out this document, it is very difficult to do. So we really like to make sure that we have supports in place to help students, and make sure that if you need help figuring out how to get your tax returns, or if you need help navigating through the website or anything like that, we like to make sure that those supports are in place. And what's really great is automatically, if you come to see me, you automatically qualify for TRIO. There's also great things like workforce funding that you can have on campus. and work study. There's financial assistance. We also have some really great student scholarships that are going on all the time right now. And in fact, there's just ones that are through our Grays Harbor College Foundation. So if you go to our website, you can totally find out information. We also have events that we're doing all the time. So please check out our website for that information.
Thank you for attending this presentation. My name is Cheryl Brown. I'm with Grays Harbor Youth Works. I'm the executive director. Our program has been in operation for 10 years. We focus on career-connected learning, internships for all youth in the county, ages 15 to 19. So your student qualifies with us in order for us to provide them work experience with a local business host and in their interest. We ask that you complete our application processes. You will enter your time through our website. We will interview you. We will set you up with the business host. And after you complete your 40 hours, then it will be up to you on what you decide to do with what you got to learn. We work on the essential skills that you will need for any job. They're lifetime skills. We also help solve the problem of the catch-22, needing experience for work, but you don't have work to get the experience. Anyway, we're available most of the time. Our contact information is up front. We really ask you to join us, as we are also teaming up with the Arc of Grays Harbor, and we're also providing not only work experience as internships, but also informational interviews. So your student, if they're interested in a certain career, can speak to somebody in that profession and complete an interview with them. We will also have job shadows and tours to any of our major businesses in Grays Harbor County. So we thank you for attending this, and this is a group of wonderful people that are doing everything to help you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. We are from Morningside in Grays Harbor County, and I'm here. I'm Bobby Jo Sweet. I'm our regional manager at Morningside, working with our pre-ETS team, and my coworker Susan's here. I'll let Susan introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Susan Burns, and I work in the Grays Harbor area, and I'm a pre-ETS facilitator, so I get to do all the workshops, the job tours, informational interviews, and help with the internships.
All right, so we thought we'd start off by just telling you a little bit about Morningside and who we are. Morningside is an employment vendor. We are a nonprofit in the Grays Harbor area, but also serving many other counties, as you can see. Morningside started off in Olympia. We are celebrating our 60-year anniversary next year and have been in the Aberdeen office since 2002. We do support individuals with disabilities with finding employment. And so in pre-ETS, of course, we work with students as young as 14, but Morningside supports people throughout their whole life. So we work with adults all the way through, 99, 100, however old folks live. And we do provide services that include DDA, supported employment, DVR. We partner with DVR, foundational community supports. We work with DSB, Department of Services for the Blind. And then specifically what we're here to really get a chance to talk with you all about today is our pre-employment transition services. Okay, so I've got just a slide here with a couple of pictures to kind of give some visuals for what pre-employment transition services are. But Morningside is providing work readiness training, self-advocacy training, work-based learning activities, and paid internships. So Susan and I are just going to share a couple of stories, talk a little bit about what it is that we've done with these services. So first of all, we're providing workshops in many local high schools, and even have some options for workshops outside of high school for students that don't have a workshop in their high school. We are providing work readiness training, which is, being prepared to go to work. So learning how to build your resume, how to talk to employers, how to talk about yourself to employers. We do 30-second interviews. We do interview prep and help students learn about soft skills in the workplace. So that's what those workshops are like. We also do self-advocacy training, so helping students learn how to talk about themselves, how to ask for help when they need it, but also thinking about, you know, if I do need help in a workplace, do I want to think about disclosing my disability? And how should I do that if I decide to do that? So all of those self-advocacy pieces. And again, those are typically delivered by Susan, our pre-ETS facilitator, in a workshop. And I'll pass it over to Susan soon so she can tell you a little bit about what those local services look like. And as you can see in the picture, Morningside also does work-based learning activities. And so those are job tours, informational interviews, and job shadows. And we have a picture here of a job tour. We're taking students out weekly out into the community to give them an opportunity to explore what they're interested in. And so this is a picture of an employer here and a group of students around the employer, all getting to learn about what job opportunities there are in that business. And then down below is a picture of an informational interview, which is in this picture, this student is meeting with a doctor because she wants to be a medical assistant, and she sat down for about 45 minutes and got to ask questions about, what do you like about your job? What don't you like about your job? How did you get started? What advice do you have for me for getting started in this field? And any other questions that she has. Susan has a local example that she'll tell you about in just a second as well. And last but certainly not least, I think many of us in this presentation would agree, I think one of the most exciting things for students is the paid internships. So students, you know, historically have often graduated without a work experience under their belt. And one of the benefits of pre-ETS is that they get to participate in a paid internship. And so we have students that are really, Morningside will facilitate and help set up an internship for them. And they get to do at least 40 hours in that internship. It can be spread out over time. It doesn't have to all happen in one week. You know, sometimes students will do a handful of hours, a couple days a week. And up to 120 hours in those paid internships. And those are really whatever the students are interested in. So we've had students that have done like warehouse, food industry, retail, you name it. We even had a student do a social media internship. So it's really based on student interest. And as I mentioned, my coworker Susan is here, and she's done some local services for Grays Harbor. I'm her supervisor, so I'll let her talk with you about some of the work-based learning activities and local services going on in Grays Harbor.
All right. Hi. So we have 8 workshops all across Grays Harbor. So we have one at we have a few at Aberdeen High School. We have one at Acosta, one at Oakville, and a few at Elma High School. Some of the job tours that we've gone on in the past that have been a real hit. Little Richards at the Westport Docks, the students got to get their hands dirty and learn how to make the donuts there, which was really cool. We've had a job tour at the Tractor Supply, Marshall's, 5-Star Auto, Cutright Auto. One of the ones I'm really excited about that's happening next, the student is interested in working with animals, so she has a job tour set up with the Friends of Slim Pickens Wildlife Rescue. So she gets to work at the DOL, and so not work, but she gets to do a job tour there, and it could potentially lead to an internship there. And they're gonna have little baby animals that are gonna be being born soon. So she's very, very excited for that.
My name is Shauna Myers. I'm an Employment Services Coordinator with Coastal Community Action Program. I have been working at CAP for going on 20 years. A couple of my favorite things about my job here at CAP is I love leading a team, celebrating those successes, and running into individuals in the community that I might have helped place in their jobs 15 or 20 years ago.
Hi, my name is Jamie Skunis, and I got approximately 14 years here at CAP working in employment. Favorite part of my job is to go out in the community and targeted positions for individuals, creating partnerships with various agencies, and working with a team that's led with consistency and compassion for the field.
We are the largest specialized employment vendor in Grays Harbor and Pacific County. We have about 20 staff members here to help you with your employment needs, and our core staffing has a nearly combined 60 years experience.
The employment programs that we work in to support individuals are DDA, which is Developmental Disabilities Administration, Supported Employment Community Inclusion, DVR, where we can do job placement, community-based assessments, job retention, independent living, pre-employment transition services, that serves our students 14 and older that are on a 504 or an IEP plan at school. We do workshops in the schools to give them an opportunity to see what they'd like to do in the employment world. We work with DSB, which is Department of Services for the Blind, which serves our visually impaired individuals. FCS is a Medicaid program. It will support individuals seeking employment and work with wraparound services to make them successful. And we also work with our Work First, which is TANF recipients.
A couple of things I don't want to forget to mention are the multiple individuals that we support in state employment right here in Grays Harbor and Pacific County. We also assist individuals with their self-employment needs. Some of the programs that we help facilitate are workplace readiness, paid and unpaid work-based learning and internships, self-advocacy, job development, and we provide long-term supports.
Along with that, being that we are a community action agency, we house many different other programs, such as housing, energy assistance, transportation, and a representative payee program with Social Security recipients.
We'd like to thank you for joining us today. Our team looks forward to helping you with all of your employment needs.
My name is Angela Bovey, and I work with Developmental Disabilities Administration, DDA, with the state of Washington. And I am a case resource manager out of our Aberdeen office. And I have been with DDA since July of 2021.
And my name is Shannon Bishop. I'm also a case resource manager with Developmental Disabilities Administration out of the Aberdeen office. And I have also been with DDA since July of 2021. And our supervisor's phone number is listed on this slide. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to her.
Okay, so DDA uses state and federal funds to provide services for eligible individuals and families. You can apply for DDA at any age. We have clients from birth to well in their 70s, and I believe we even have some in their 80s. Shannon will explain some of the qualifying conditions to be eligible for our services.
So some of the qualifying conditions are intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, autism, developmental delay, and medically intensive conditions. I want you to know that this is not an exhaustive list. If you think you might qualify for it, go ahead and apply. Another piece to consider is our financial eligibility. There's two separate parts for that based off of what services you're asking for. So the first one would be eligibility with financial through long-term care if you're looking for just in-home personal care. The second piece would be waiver services. And if you're interested in a waiver service, we would do long-term care, but also include Social Security Administration to do a disability determination.
So also to receive an eligibility packet, you can call the 800 number here on the slide. And you can also contact the local ARC of Grays Harbor for assistance with an application. But as well as that, you can also come into our office, which is located in the DSHS building in Aberdeen, and that's 415 West Wishoff Street. And we are in Suite 1B. We always have eligibility packets available. And then if you're not able to come into our office, we can always mail one out to you as well if you'd like to get in touch with one of us. Another option would be to go online, and you can go to the DSHS website and look up DDA eligibility, and there it will explain what you need to do to go from there. And then DDA has a variety of services that can be provided. Some are waiver services and some are non-waiver services. So services may include we're going to go through the different lists on here and explain if they're waiver or non-waiver. The first one is caregiving, and this is non-waiver services, and that's through Community First Choice. The caregiving hours are auto-populated during the assessments that we do with our clients. The hours can be provided by local agencies or independent providers. The next is a waiver service. It's respite and or community respite. This is short-term intermittent relief to individuals who live with and care for you. This service is available in your home or in the community. The next service is a waiver and non-waiver service. Assistive technology, there's a specific amount of funds that you can use for non-waiver services through Community First Choice for this, or you can use waiver services. And this is products, training, or evaluations used to improve or maintain functional abilities. Examples may include adaptive equipment, language applications, or switches, or phones, or iPads to help with communication for the clients. Next is behavioral support. This is a waiver service, and specifically one that we use it's called Staff and Family Consultation, and this provides consultation and guidance not covered by the Medicaid state plan to families or direct service providers to increase their abilities to meet the individualized and specific needs of the waiver participant. And this comes off of their person-centered service plan, which is from their annual assessment that we do with them. Examples may include identifying strategies on proper positioning and transferring or providing diet and nutritional guidance. Case managers can also provide resources for other behavioral supports for the clients. Something that's not on our list that I wanted to talk about is another waiver service. It's called Specialized Equipment and Supplies. This can be various items that would help with independence for the client. Durable and non-durable medical equipment or equipment necessary to prevent institutionalization that's not available under the Medicaid state plan or in excess what is available through their plan. So examples might be a shower chair or wipes or something that might be for their daily functioning through sensory. So it could be something for their sensory, such as a weighted blanket or sensory devices for people. Also, something that we get a lot of is swings for sensory for our clients, which is great. And that can be, and if you find the right swing that can hold up to, I think there's one that holds up to 300 pounds. So there's just various items that you can, and if you're a client, you just reach out to your case manager if there's something that you need, and it just needs to be referred by a doctor or another physician or another person that's helping you. Yep. And then Shannon will share some more services that are available.
So some other services that we have is community engagement, which is a waiver service. This service is intended to help assist our clients in getting out into the community and participating in activities. The next one is community inclusion. This one is a little more focused, and it's aiming to help build community connections and your natural supports. Another one that we have is environmental or vehicular modifications. Environmental would be if you have a shower chair and you can't get it into your shower, we could do a remodel on the bathroom in order for you to be able to take a shower more independently. Another thing that we have is long-term employment support. And what that is if you are looking for employment services, but you need somebody there to help train you or prompt you on what you need to do, we can have long-term supports in place so you can be successful. And the last one I want to talk about is specialized habilitation. This is working on social emotional goals or building strategies for safety within the community. And this would have goals to help build the ability to communicate with community members more efficiently or effectively. And it's a really great service that we have.
Division of Vocational Rehabilitation is pleased to share with you about pre-employment transition services. As you may know, since the Rehab Act of 1973, state vocational rehabilitation agencies have been required to work with education officials to coordinate transition services. These partnerships have proven to increase positive post-school employment outcomes for young adults with disabilities. We are excited to share that the reauthorization of the Rehab Act and the passing of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act of 2014 has established a new emphasis on the importance of those critical VR school partnerships to promote early engagement with students with disabilities, expanded the population of students with disabilities who could receive service, as well as the types of services that VR agencies may provide to students with disabilities. It also requires that vocational rehabilitation agencies set aside 15% of their federal budget specifically for pre-employment transition services. This is a regional transition consultant, or RTC, with the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. We have RTCs assigned to support each of the 9 educational service districts across the state. This is an RTC assigned to support one of the 9 ESDs. Their job is to help support the schools in this educational service district, or ESD, to ensure availability, accessibility, and coordination of pre-ETS group activities. This is a vocational rehabilitation counselor liaison assigned to work with a high school. We have VRC liaisons assigned to all secondary schools across the state. VRC liaisons support individual students on caseloads to meet their employment-related transition goals. Their job is to attend IEP and IEP planning meetings, attend parent nights, assist with transition or resource fairs, and attend regularly scheduled check-ins with your staff. Now that you know the roles of the regional transition consultants and the counselor liaisons, we want to give you an opportunity to ask more specific questions about pre-employment transition services.
What types of pre-employment transition services are available?
There are 5 pre-ETS service categories. Job exploration are activities that foster motivation, considerations of employment opportunities, and informed decision-making regarding career options. Self-advocacy training helps students learn about rights, responsibilities, and how to request accommodations or services to support competitive, integrated employment. Counseling on post-secondary education are activities that promote awareness of opportunities within comprehensive transition or post-secondary educational programs at higher education institutions. Workplace readiness training provides students with opportunities to learn about and develop social and independent living skills. Work-based learning experiences are activities that provide opportunities for students to use a competitive, integrated workplace and real-work setting to gain knowledge and experience that will help lead to future career opportunities.
Are these services only for students receiving special education services?
No, any student with a disability ages 14 to 21 who is currently attending or enrolled in an education program is eligible to participate. That includes students who have an IEP, a 504 plan, or a documented disability.
How does this align with our current academics and class schedule?
We work with the education professionals in your school to identify the transition services that are already being provided and identify any gaps where pre-ETS could support student need. When coordinating services, we ask teachers for help in identifying student participants and aligning services with students' high school and beyond plan and IEP vocational goals. We also work with teachers to identify potential workshop times that would not interrupt or disrupt scheduled academic classes. For example, some schools have scheduled workshops during homeroom or advisory hour. Some schools have scheduled guest speakers during the lunch hour or planned after-school job site tours.
Can students participate in pre-ETS to fulfill their career and technical education graduation requirement?
Pre-ETS cannot supplant or replace the school's responsibility. However, pre-ETS can be used to help support or enhance services already being provided by the schools. One example may be, you have a student interested in a welding career. DVR can coordinate an informational interview to have a business professional speak to students about education, training, and job requirements for this type of career. If interested, the student can participate in a job shadow or work-based learning opportunity to gain additional knowledge.
What if a student may need more one-on-one support?
Pre-ETS are intended to be delivered on a continuum and recommended for early engagement with students starting in group services during freshman and sophomore year if appropriate. If a student needs more one-on-one support and group services are not appropriate, then the student can be referred for individual VR services. Once the student is on a DVR caseload, they may receive pre-employment transition services with a community rehab program as part of their individual plan for employment, or IPE. This is why it is so important to start these services as early as possible in order to identify the most appropriate path for each student's successful transition.
Are all students required to participate in pre-employment transition services?
No. Pre-ETS are voluntary. However, it is required to provide them the information and opportunity to participate. Research shows that students with disabilities often need more opportunities for job exploration, work readiness, and work-based learning experience to reach their employment goals.
This sounds great. How do we get started?
There are some important things to consider. The first step is completing the Transition Self-Assessment tool to identify your high school service needs. If this has not been completed, or you need assistance with interpreting the data, we are here to help. Once that has been completed, DVR will work with you to identify the students and services that are most appropriate and will meet the school and the student's individual needs. If pre-employment transition group services are determined to be the most appropriate path, we then collect pre-ETS information and consent forms for all student participants. Next, the school would select the workshop delivery model that best suits the school and individual needs. Finally, DVR will coordinate the services with the appropriate provider and schedule regular check-ins to continue ongoing collaboration. For more information on pre-employment transition services and how to contact your RTC and VRC liaisons, please visit our website at www.dshs.wa.gov/DVR/high-school-transition.
Thank you for joining us for the Grays Harbor Transition Council's Life After High School Transition presentation. If you have questions, please reach out to the ARC of Grays Harbor at 360-537-7000.